I was listening to a guy tell his testimony about when he got saved. He actually got saved just by someone handing him a Bible and him opening up and reading the Gospels. Now, he was confused because he thought that Jesus came to earth 4 times and he didn't understand why he had to die 4 separate times. This is something that I want to talk about today. The Gospels. Right now I'm reading through the Bible chronologically, which means in order. If you're following along with the plan that I'm doing, then you can see that every day you're reading from each Gospel and it seems just out of order. And this is because the Gospels are not a chronological account of Jesus' life, but instead each one is written to a specific group of people to address specific concerns at a specific time. It's kind of like this. Imagine you were reading a book about the biography of Abraham Lincoln. You'd expect it to be like, okay, Abraham was born in a log cabin in Illinois and this year at this time to these parents. He grew up and he became a lawyer and then he did this and he became president. But instead, if I was writing a book about why Abraham Lincoln is the greatest president in American history, you would expect it to kind of jump all over parts of his life. Like, for instance, one reason he might be is that he helped to end the Civil War. Another reason would be he died for his country. And so it could kind of go all over his life. In the same way, the Gospels kind of go all over Jesus' mostly ministry in order to prove what they're trying to prove. So without further ado, let's hop into each Gospel and explain the nuances of each one. Now, this is going to be a little bit brief. There's going to be more information in the description below if you want to read further. But essentially, the Gospel of Matthew was written to Jews. This is very evident when you read it, and it really helps if you read Matthew with a good understanding of the Old Testament, because Matthew is trying to show Jews that Jesus is the Messiah. He does this by listing his genealogy and other ways that he's fulfilling Old Testament prophecies. Mark is written to people that understand the Old Testament, but mainly people in the Roman Empire, in order to show that Jesus is God's suffering servant and Messiah. Mark is the shortest gospel, but he shows Jesus getting the job done and therefore has the most miracles recorded of Jesus than any other gospel. Luke is written to people that are very intellectual, and it's considered to be a gospel that's more written towards Gentiles or non-Jews. And in Luke's gospel, he does a couple things that are really interesting. First and foremost, he has the most amount of parables. And secondly, he wants to show Jesus as a perfect man. And so therefore, he'll show Jesus in areas that most people would sin, yet Jesus remained pure and sinless. Finally, we have the Gospel of John. Now, Matthew, Mark, and Luke are known as the Synoptic Gospels. This is because they describe the events of Jesus in kind of similar ways. You'll see stories that are told in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, but aren't told in John, and you'll see stories that are only told in John. Now, John was written for the purpose of showing that Jesus is not only the Son of God, but he is God himself who came down to earth. He's eternal and was there at the beginning of creation and will be there at the end of time. He is the gospel that focuses in on the great I am statements of Jesus. And to give you a little bit of context there, when Moses goes to God and says, "Who shall I say sent me?" God reveals himself by saying, "I am has sent me." And so when Jesus makes these I am statements, he's directly claiming to be God. Now, I hope this helps you get a better understanding whenever you're reading through the Gospels of what they're there for. And when you understand who they're written to, you can actually do better at applying them to your personal life. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then please leave a like. It really does help the channel. And I'll see you back here tomorrow as we continue to read through Scripture together.